Good afternoon and welcome back to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. Our pleasure to have the Executive Director of the MHSAA, Mark Ewell. Pleasure.
Good afternoon. Great to be here.
All right, we're going to talk quickly about your maturation process through the MHSAA and where you currently are.
Well, I've been on staff now for 19 years. The first 15 as an assistant director, the last 4 is the executive director, and I can tell you the last 2 years during COVID, I feel like the last 2 years have been dog years. But, you know, an event like today, a great rivalry matchup, just glad that we're playing. COVID is still with us, it's still out there, but the reality is we have to figure out a way how to live with this virus. It's not going away tomorrow, and it's great that we're seeing our kids continuing to play.
Hey, Mark, just curious to know what exciting things are on the horizon that you guys have been able to sit back, having the COVID issue, being able to get back into a room with all of your workers, your co-workers, and figure out ways that we can improve different things. Is there anything on the horizon that you guys have planned?
So it's been interesting that during COVID, that's kind of put a pause on some of the big ideas because you've really kind of gone into almost a survival mode, just taking things on a day-by-day basis. When it comes to basketball, you know, we've introduced seeding now into the district tournament to where we take the top 2 seeds and we're able to separate them out. There's some talk about seeding the whole bracket, and then the other thing that's getting conversations is shot clock. That starting next year, each state by state can determine whether or not they want a shot clock. So we'll see where that goes. So it'll be nice to put COVID behind us at some point and really get on to some of the big ideas that we have. And, you know, the thing with the shot clock, there's pros and cons on both sides of the argument. It would bring some excitement and just something new and different, and we'll see what our basketball community wants to do.
Well, and as we look even now, the potential, little birdie told us there might be some changes to the playoff football format.
You know, because of COVID, we had to put everybody into the playoffs last year. And then this past year, we've gone back to kind of the traditional way to do it. So every AD and every football coach now has real-life experience of everybody in, and then only the 256 getting in. So we'll get with our football committee and we'll really make a decision here. What do we want high school football to look like long term? Do we want an 8-game regular season, everybody in, or do we stay with the 9-game and you have to qualify? So pluses and minuses on both sides, and again, we try and listen to what the football community wants us to do.
Well, I think the progression in the football playoffs, I watched the state championship game from 1974 where they interviewed the executive director of the MHSA at the time, and that was the first time they even talked about expansion into 4 teams. So, you know, and obviously seeing where it's at nowadays with the point system and then the wins, you know, there's always types of ways that you guys can look at. So is it the football, the coaches, you know, association that you guys sit down with, or is it just strictly done by the MHSA when you guys get feedback?
So at our core, we're a membership of member schools. So my bosses are superintendents, principals, and athletic directors around our state. And so we listen to our schools. Our football coaches, when it's football issues, they have a voice at the table. Our ADs always have a voice. And I'm a big one. I was a high school football coach for 12 years. And I think that we need to listen to our coaches. When it comes to changes in basketball, we need to listen to the men and women who sit over there on the benches and lead our kids. So we really try and be membership driven. It's not a director driven organization. It's what our schools want us to do.
As a fellow registered official, talk about the challenges to incorporate young people into the ranks to keep this officiating business going.
It's hard to referee. You know, we can see in the gym a big rivalry game, lots of energy and intensity. There's criticism that comes with officiating, and COVID's been hard on officials. COVID has kind of fast-tracked, I think, some retirements. And there's a lot of people that are kind of waiting and seeing, do I want to give this a try? And I'm telling you, and all of the viewers out there, we need more officials. MHSAA.com, and we would love to help you get started.
If you listen real carefully, Mark, you're going to have about 800 of them in about 8 minutes from right now. So just get your ears open, start pointing at them. Okay, here's your registration, here's your application.
It's amazing, yeah. 800 coaches and referees here in about 7 minutes and 50 seconds. But it's a great way to stay involved and active in the game. Put on a striped shirt. There's help wanted, just whistle, MHSAA.com.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about your new assistant, Brent Rice, and the progress he's made since stepping into your old position.
Yeah, Brent Rice, we stole him from the world of professional baseball. He's done a great job again in really trying circumstances to try and recruit and retain officials again. We just think those efforts will become a lot easier when COVID is finally clearly in the rearview mirror, and hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later.
Always appreciate your time and your availability. Great stability at the top of the MHSAA, and we're really appreciative you could spend a few minutes with us today.
Good to be with you both. Thank you.
That puts the wraps on our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action in just a minute on BCTV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we lead with the most advanced technology. We lead with the most experienced, comprehensive medical and surgical teams. We lead with partnerships to teach our future doctors, and with organizations who help us bring world-renowned care close to home. We lead because our patients are at the center of everything we do. Covenant Healthcare, extraordinary care for every generation.
Back here at the Duke Dome for the second half of the double dip. It's the boys this time around, as this should be fun, Jason.
You know, it's a rivalry that was introduced to when my son transferred over here. We had a great rivalry when I was coaching at Bay City All Saints. When he came over here, I just realized how much more intense that this rivalry really is between neighboring townships, Essexville, Hampton, and Bangor.
Local bragging rights say a whole lot as we are ready to jump center here. As Hunter Jacek ends up eventually getting the tip to go his way, and the Garber Dukes will have the first offensive possession.
You're going to see a lot of screen action out of the Dukes. They're going to try to get some back screens, trying to get the shooter number 12. I know him pretty well.
And he did shuffle the Tootsies as they look to get a shot. As Millars will do a lot of running the offense too, and he's got a little experience on the varsity level.
He's been up here and running the show for a couple of years. He maintains a lot of good control out there. You know, he's got some young guys out there, you know, 2 sophomores out there, and always nice to have somebody with a little bit of that experience just to slow things down just a bit.
He knows when to make it happen. As nice look underneath. The shot was missed that time by Westlock. As it's one and done, and the rebound comes down. A great back cut, extra pass. Wide open for a shot. Missed by Jacek.
Said that name quite a bit in the girls' game.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if that sounds familiar, there's a couple of Jaceks here, and there's been a couple in the past.
There have been, and I went to school with them over at St. Stan's, so I've been around that family in the South End for many years as I grew up a St. Stanislaus Kafka member.
Yes. Westlock gets the first of 2 to drop. First point of the ball game at the 7:08 mark of the first quarter.
Easiest way to cut the tension, you're a freshman, big rivalry game, is get your first free throw to drop. Even
second
better when
one's
second
easy.
one.
Just a little touch of that front iron and a whole lot of cotton after that.
You see a lot of screen action, as I've mentioned about out of the Dukes. They're going to try to get some mismatch. They're going to try and get some crisscross action. Trying to get really going downhill.
And man, they are very familiar where Newsham is at, but a 3-ball that time going up from Jack Day, who seems like he's been on the varsity forever too.
Well, it helps when his older brother Riley was up here, was a key member of their district championship winning team a couple years ago. As we're going to get a push, as Hartman's a strong left-handed player, and going to a strong side, and Millars, again, get caught up a little bit with your feet, and all of a sudden you're going into a push situation.
And that's where you start to reach. You got to move those feet to make that happen. As Hartman brings the ball up over the timeline.
Balance and control is so much easier. Okay, a little curl action as they're trying to get Krasminski to curl off of it. Facundo says, yeah, curl all you want. I got this.
Well, Facundo's not afraid to burp it up. Dale Clyde's club loves the 3-ball. And they're with a 2-point lead now, 5-3 in this ball game. As they slide the ball around and strong to the hole, creating contact. Jacek will go to the line.
They're right now they're face guarding, keeping tabs on Newsham, which is great. But the one thing, it's not the first time that Coach Watts has seen it this year. So what they've been able to do is figure out a way to keep him involved, but also take that defender out. So you're really going 4-on-4, getting more space, more lanes, more angles.
First free throw misses. Cameron Rowley is coming into the ball game, and Cameron really blossomed in this last year. He's always been a good basketball player, but playing goalie on the soccer team, now he's come back a little more athletic than he was in the past, and he's getting a lot of quality minutes.
A little more athletic. You know, he was starting earlier in the year, and Ryan Bold, the sophomore, replaced him. But minute-wise, his minutes haven't diminished. It's just not in the starting role. But the one thing about him is he's very active, he's very agile, and he makes a lot of things happen out there.
Krasminski trying to dribble penetrate. And a nice soft touch off the glass. And a 7-4 lead right now for the John Glenn Bobcats.
You got to watch that forearm.
Yep, a little pressure up top.
Got no problem with it. Let them play a little bit. Let them figure it out.
It's just a thing. You got to be consistent with it.
Right.
Coming off another screen. Elbow with a beautiful look underneath Jacek. In order for that to work, Jacek's got to be looking for that ball. He did it and he finished.
Well, look what I got.
As they slide around, Krasminski with a real nice move, and Millar's nearly picked up the steal. He said it did pick it up, it's just a little delayed. He's coming down on the controlled break right now. Wide open in the corner. The shot just a little bit strong that time.
Too wide open.
For Jack Day.
Too wide open. Sometimes you just a little excited on that, especially when you're that open.
And there's another ball that's turned over, and Newsham brings the ball down the floor. Oh, you know he was lined up and ready to rock that thing just off the mark. But that's a nice looking shot, and he did not get this one to drop, but sometimes you got to get that first one flying to get the feel.
I may know a thing or two about letting her fly. A little green light mentality.
Well, you've got two sons that are no strangers to shooting the ball in the gymnasium. And that's reps are what do it. There's
your soccer kick. There's your goalie.
Yes.
There's your goalie coming out.
That's exactly right. He's going to say that one's not getting by me. If I can't reach it, I'm going to kick it. 4:35 left in the first quarter. 7-6 our score. Ball inbounded as Rogers gets that ball deep on the left-hand wing.
They want to keep Hartman going on the right side. You're going to see Jack Millar shielding him and shading him a lot. Krasminski does have great handles on both sides of it. As he gets stolen on that one, as I mentioned it a little too early.
He thought about it for a minute and just decided to float it up.
He's got his dad's hops. Let's just call it what it is. It's a heck of a layup as the Dukes take an 8-7 lead.
He was up there and just dropped it down. He thought about it for a minute, but he said, I got to get the shirt too.
Got to get the bucket.
It's Krasminski deep on the right-hand wing with Newsham on him defensively. Rough spacing and another ball taken away. Jack Day's going to go coast to coast with a kiss off the glass for the Deuce.
We talked about it a lot in the girls' game. Spacing is so important, and when you do a dribble handoff action, you end up bringing the defender. Everybody comes to it. That little travel, I thought, we're going to get a little arm action as Paulie Sevilla comes up with the closed fist.
That's what you look when you hear that whistle from one of the three gentlemen out here today. Open palm or closed fist. Turnover versus foul.
Thought they gave it to Jacek, which would have been his second, but they're going to correct it. That's when you're doing politic work over there. Coach Watts is making sure he's running for office, keeping Jacek on the floor a little longer.
Yep, shaking hands, kissing a few babies.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. As Cade Walker checks in the game, Cade's got an interesting story. He spent a lot of time in the Bangor school system before transferring over here last year as an 8th grader over to Kramer, and now as a freshman starter has definitely earned his minutes up here. He's a heck of a basketball player, does a lot of great things, and he gets a lot of good action out there on the floor. It's going to be interesting to see. A lot of these guys are his old teammates.
Facundo with a nice stroke at the free throw line. 10-9. It's a 1-point ball game. Rowley to Newsham. And we're going to have a foul and a reach in again. You start running that mini weave, and if you're a half step behind, You either got to try and reach to regain, or you're going to let them blow by.
I always find it interesting when you can see the jersey being pulled, and you know what a jersey being pulled looks like, and then they look around and they put their arms up.
I didn't get any body contact. They just got jersey. It's Millar's back out top right now as he will go back onto the wing. Hartman on him defensively. Millar's wide open for a 3-ball. Man, he squared up those tootsies and let it fly. Nothing but the bottom of the hole.
Heart and soul of this offense, he really is. And what he does, especially at the home game with this home crowd, really gets them all excited, gets them into the game. You know, he gives them a little wink. He doesn't do anything to the opposing bench, doesn't do anything to the opposing fans, but he does get that student section. And when they start rolling, baby, the Duke Dome gets loud.
Well, and Jacek did a great job of knowing that Westlock was going to be getting the ball. As that shot's halfway down, you know what Millar's is doing on a controlled break. Sees 2-on-3 numbers. He's going to pull up from 15. Just absolutely dissects the floor on his way down, looks around, sees he can get an open look from 15 and drains it.
Absolutely nice play, nice decision. Clifford entering the game for the Bobcats, number 5. It's number 11 also onto the floor for the first time, Carson Dabrowski.
Krasminski trying to turn around again. Great defense on him. Krasminski kind of forces a shot, and I think we're going to have Westlock with a little pull down.
3rd down and 2, and Westlock wasn't going to let him get the first down. That'll be his first foul as Isaiah Schmidt enters the game.
Talk about how blessed both of these programs are to have the head coaches. I mean, Chris Watt has been here for many years. Dale Clyde comes back again. The veteran leadership of those two coaches, what that means to both programs.
They're so comfortable with their offense, with their defense, with their philosophies, you know, and they're able to get the other coaches, their JV coaches, which in this case is the luxury because it's his son, Derek. But you get those guys involved, and you're able to do some things, and they know what to expect. You know what to expect, and when you play here for so long, when you coach it for so long, a lot of the players that are now coaching have played for you, so you're really just reciprocating the coaching tree for those guys.
Cade Wallaker with the reach-in foul. And
that works on the playground a little bit, that little reach around and hoping to tap the ball out, get a little run out. As Dan Meisner enters the game, replacing Rowley.
He's very tough for him to hide anywhere on the floor.
I mean, it's got to be one or the other.
Yeah. You can't have one without another. And the thing is, before you get possession of that ball, you can straddle a lot. You can go into the backcourt. I think he became a little momentarily intimidated by that center line.
You know, I think the other thing, if I'm not mistaken, but if the ball is thrown and you tap it because you don't possess it, if you just tap, you can tap it to the backcourt and go back and get it.
That is correct, because there is no legal possession.
Correct.
You don't see it happen, but it can.
Illegal. Yeah. Good call. Good call.
The big fella underneath is trying to create a little too much space.
How do you hide when you're that size?
He's only 6'6".
Tell you what, he's not a guy you want to see in the batter's box coming up either.
Yeah, he can swat the P.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of times they're still looking because my legs were set. What's that call?
Buck 45 and counting left in the first, 15-9. There's a great dribble penetration. Nice job to get the Duke defender, Max Fellows, up in the air. And Fellows had the contact. There's another young man that excelled on the football field this fall, and he's just another great athlete. And I'd say he's probably not too bad at baseball either.
You know, being a sophomore, and he's just a mild-tempered kid. And you look at him, he does a lot of nice things. But he's such a nice kid, it doesn't matter. Like he doesn't even understand, I don't think, how good he has the potential to be because he's just so great of a kid. Mom and dad are great people, you know, he's out there and he just wants to have fun.
Well, and I think he's a kid that actually has an opportunity in baseball and in football to play at the next level.
Right, he will have some opportunities, you know, and it's a long way away, but he certainly has a skill set for that.
15-12 right now as the John Glenn Bobcats pull it back to within 3. As we're at a minute and a half left in the first quarter. A little bit of a forced shot that time by the freshman Wallaker.
Yeah, he has a tendency to drive. He does like to take that, as looked like Luke West with the ball going off of the I don't know if it was off his hands or off his knee, but he was moving really fast, and the ball moved even faster.
That ball almost took a chunk of the wall out. It hit there so fast.
A little velocity. Both teams experienced a little bit of scoring droughts in this first half. This first quarter.
15 to 12. I mean, they're on pace pretty much for what you would expect point-wise, but it just hasn't been real cleanly played yet. Fellows free throw extension. Gets great job defensively by number 11, Dabrowski. As they try and look underneath, they tried to do a play for Fellows. I think the defense collapsed very well on that ball.
Yeah, I think it was one of those. It was a small window of an opportunity where he was open, but if you miss it, it's almost better just to pass it back out, get a little reset action. Don't force it. As Newsham and Jack Millars re-enter the game for the Dukes with a minute left.
55 ticks and counting. As Millars and Newsham, as you just said, back into the game. Tinkle in the twine on the trifecta. Rogers, the junior, with a great stroke from the corner.
Yeah, Brady's been known to hit a few threes back in his day.
Millars today back up top.
30 seconds. Maybe a little too early to play for the last one unless you get something. Got a lot of action right now, just trying to.
And again, great closeout by the John Glenn Bobcats. As with 14 seconds left, great extra pass. Fellows can't get it to drop, but he's fouled at the line. Great look from Day to put that bounce pass in the right spot.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the officiating right now. We've got 10 fouls called in the first 8 minutes, and I guess there could be more. But right now, talk to me a little bit about, I can tell you a little bit about it from a coach standpoint. It really affects when you have a lot of whistles in the early going, is just exactly the kind of flow you can get into. Is that something, as an official, that you guys discuss? It's a rivalry game, let's call it close quickly, or is it, is there some discussion that's being held?
There's always pregame discussion about the matchup and the potential for things that may transpire. We'll get to that thought here as we've got 3 seconds left in the quarter. We are going to have a foul on the play. A great job that time by Facundo. Felt that hand on the hip with a little displacement. Was able to put a floater in from 15 on the wing.
I like the call because there was no thought about it. He didn't have to think to himself, was it before the shot? Was it before the act of shooting? He made the call, it went in, he dropped the hammer, and let's play.
As he gets to try and finish off the three-point play the old-fashioned way. A little bit short. Newsham with a 90-footer that falls a little bit short at the end of the first quarter of play. It's the John Glenn Bobcats 17, the Garber Dukes 16. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV, ready to start the second quarter. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Dylan Sauber, as the three of us are having a great double dip on a Sunday afternoon at the Duke Dome. Nice little crossover, and Millars is going to get his second foul, as depending on the angle you were at, whether there was a little ball and a little wrist, or the wrist caused that ball to go floating.
It's always interesting. I like to watch the officials make the call, whether it was on the arm or maybe a push, depending on what they were viewing it as. It's not like the old days. Everyone had an over-the-back call. Remember that coming in with your two arms, your ladder, hooking ladder.
Nice stroke for Hartman on the first of two.
Well, now they called that one as a 1-and-1, and that was another one of those where was the whistle? Where was it called at? Was it going to be a deuce? Was it going to be a 1-and-1? As it didn't matter as he makes the first.
A little southpaw stroke. Second one's a little bit strong. Look at Rowley, gets out to the spot and picks up the loose change out there. Day looking to penetrate, as got a foul on the play, and I think that's going to go against Clifford, who's riding on the hip of Brandon Newsham.
We call him Brendan at home.
Brendan. I was ready to call him Bubba. You know, I got to understand. He was young when he was a Bubba.
Well, you know, they've handed it off to him twice now, and both times they handed it off, there was a foul called.
Oh, great job of getting the hands in. And
good idea, but, you know, again, we're talking space. You know, it's lost in translation. You've got to have better space, and when you've got your passing underneath the free throw line, you're taking away your triangle of an area.
That was a great idea, but a little close quarters to make that execute. Wide open 3-ball, letting it fly a little bit too strong for Clifford. One and done as the rebound comes down to the Dukes with 7-10 and counting left in the first half.
A little weave action. Again, when you've got 4 players, it does create better angles, better openings, and better opportunities as you're allowed to. A little deflection there off of Hartman. But it's one of those things, you know, it's not the first time that you've been face guarded, so if it's the best thing for you to do is stay up near half court, let you go 4 other players do their thing, as Rogers will get the assignment of face guarding Newsham.
Yep, and at some point, Newsham stays active enough that you're going to have a hold, you're going to have a bump, you're going to have something. As the freshman trying to think about taking it to the hole, and he does a great job, and they're going to call an offensive foul as he kind of dipped the shoulder.
Understand that the shoulder dip, but tell me one thing about it. Whose call is that? We were talking earlier about assignments when he's going down. Regional-wise, you know, you have your area to cover. Is that a surprise call from when it's coming from?
Nope, because it's coming from his area. If it originates in his area, he takes it all the way to the hole.
I think, again, trying to educate people at home, understanding just how that works.
And, you know, there was contact. The shoulder was dropped offensively. The only question that ever comes is a free ball by Hartman. Tickles the twine. Did the defense ever create legal guarding position?
Perfect.
And, again, that's subject to interpretation. There is no perfect situation there. Because I think you'll probably see Millars coming back here very soon for the Dukes. I think that their offense has changed just a little bit with his absence. As Newsham gets a touch, but he's 25 feet from the basket. He's got dark blue all over him. Trying to slide that ball, Cam Rowley tried to look underneath the Newsham. There wasn't a whole lot there. They're going to try and post him up this time. He tries to beat the double team, has a great drop step to the hole, unable to finish it, almost had his own rebound. The ball goes out of bounds. +5 with possession for the John Glenn Bobcats.
Couple of things, again, all about the space. You made that pass underneath the three-point line. You know, now all of a sudden double teams get there a little quicker. You know, I think if they can shore up a couple of those things, maybe get Millars back on just to get everybody under control. Ooh.
Travel.
Whoop, whoop. That's my famous line. But the fact that you want to get your scorer a way to get the ball, post them up. Just a different way, different angles, different looks.
Ryan Bolt coming back into the ball game for Cam Rowley.
Elijah Tyson, number 3, in for the Dukes. He junior, has a lot of good things, does a lot of good things on defensive, really likes to disrupt people is what he really likes to do, and does a great job of it.
As again, coming off a screen, Jacek up top. Is going to look to dribble, penetrate. Boy, he goes right into a double team, and he traveled. As he spun around thinking he had room, great job by the defense to anticipate that next move and shut it down.
He does like to spin down there. You scouting report by Dale Clyde definitely is going to say, Jacek, watch the spin, let him do this, let him do that, but watch for this. And then what happens, you're able to get him into a situation where he just travels a little bit too much.
Beautiful job. Cruising down the baseline with a little right-hand kiss off the left side for Rogers. Timeout on the floor as the Garber Dukes need to talk things over. 4:57 left in the first half. 23-16. John Glenn by 7. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. I think the John Glenn Bobcats have done a very good job of taking the Dukes out of their normal offensive set here, at least through the first 11 and a half minutes of the game.
And coming out of the timeout, nice adjustment there as Coach Clyde goes employs a little 1-2-2 zone look, whether it's...
I love the chess match between coaches coming out of a timeout to see what they're going to run offensively. If your coach employs another defense to throw that game plan out for that first possession, it's just fun stuff. Now, Coach Quiz taught me that years ago, and now I pay a little more attention to it.
And you want to know the thing about it, it was just a one-time deal. Do it one time, see how it looks, see how it works. See how it looks and see if you can cause a little turnover or confusion, and then we'll right back to the man-to-man staple.
Boy, Reinbold was wide open for a layup, but he didn't see it or anticipate it coming in time, and it trickled out of bounds.
Little run-pass handoff there, and just kind of fell errantly.
Facundo travels.
I got 3 steps, baby. This is the NBA.
It's LeBron.
Paulie, baby. Give me some love.
Again, down 7 as Millar's back into the game for the Dukes. Let's see what happens here. Jack Day brings it up over the timeline. As they rotate around, Jacek looking to dribble penetrate. Back up top to Newsham. Great free throw extension for Day. He puts it up just a little bit strong. And it's one and done as the rebound comes down to the Bobcats and Hartman.
When you have somebody, again, that they're paying a lot of attention to, they're paying a lot of attention to Newsham. When he sets that screen, you're not going to have somebody waiting for you as a hedge or even a switch on that. So you start taking advantage of that, you make that curl real quick off that screen, and all of a sudden things are going to be going in your favor.
Facundo made it happen. Millars with an answer for the Dukes. He's got at least 8 here in this first half as he's trying to keep the Dukes in this one.
Facundo's giving a little slap with the head. Hopefully that means he's wants a break.
You hope that's what it is. Nice defense that time by Jack Day. Here we go back down to the hole. Millars did a great job of not picking up number 3, but a soft kiss with the lefty.
That's always nice when he gets going downhill on that side for sure.
As that ball is turned over once again. Krasminski to the other end of the floor. Wisely after nothing's there. Free throw extension going for number 33, Westlock. He kind of short-armed it. Krasminski looking underneath, goes back to Westlock. He's doubled. He's still going to try and put it up. Loses it, catches it, and puts it through the cotton.
Does a little bit of everything on that one possession.
It's a 10-point lead right now as Coach Dale Clyde's down on the baseline imploring his defense. There's Millars, and he knew exactly where that miss was going, so he went to the corner and picked it up, reset the show, which is what you want down 10. You're looking for another great shot. As they roll that ball around. Newsham with a great look and a soft touch. 3 times the iron, but not through the cotton.
Not the lady on this Sunday.
As of yet. Facundo with another ball, and that goes up. And that may have touched the marker. Millars with a pass. And the pass is great to Jacek for the Dukes.
A couple things that happened, though. You push the ball up the floor. The John Glenn defense has to react to it. The shot goes up. Good-looking shot, wide-open shot. Jacek being the recipient of being in the right spot at the right time.
And I think it's important for the Garber Dukes to not have Millars pick up number 3 here as he backed away again. He's playing pretty smart, but he had a good look underneath. Great pass to Jacek. And Coach Clyde seen it twice in a row where his team got beat down the floor. He's going to take care of that right now. Back in a moment with $1:17 left in the first half on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doe and Jason Newsham. And we are looking forward to the final 1:17 of this first half. With possession, up 6. Coach Clyde spent that 30 seconds not really diagramming a play. He's talking about imploring his kids to get back on defense after a minute.
I think that's exactly what that timeout was. Not necessarily going to draw something up offensively. Not sure that we needed anything, getting good looks the way it's going right now. However, we've got to make sure we're doing something better defensively.
As down the floor, on a controlled fashion come the Dukes. Newsham with a spin move. Cleared a little bit of space, not much there though. No call from our officials. Now they're going to get a John Glenn foul, and I believe they're going to get number 5, Ryan Clifford, with that.
I think someone needs to tell Brendan that he's not under arrest. You can put your hands down. All that action for just out of bounds.
And again, team 6. So what we had was 11 first quarter free throws. I think the kids have calmed down. I think that the officials have allowed them to play a little bit. I think it's been a great second quarter of good flowing basketball.
Right, and it's a big difference. I think that's one of the reasons that you can look at John Glenn's success is they've been able to get up and down a little bit more, get up that little free flowing.
I think a nice job they got Millars out of the game too so that he could not pick up number 3. Days looking into the corner. Look at
Just kept going and he just kept getting more and more open.
He finally saw just a little bit of an opening amongst that sea of dark blue. And with 13 seconds left, the Bobcats are going to get the last shot here. You got offensive foul. As I don't think Coach Clyde totally agreed with that, but I think he does it the right way and just talks about his displeasure.
I think a little rotation there, a little rotation.
And that's exactly why they do that rotation to come around the corner. 7 seconds left. Millars comes back into the ball game for this last opportunity. He's going to burp one up from 22. And at the end of our first half of play, it's 29-25. The John Glenn Bobcats with a 4-point lead over the Garber Dukes. Back in a moment with our Frank's Great Outdoors halftime show on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Welcome back to our Frank's Great Outdoors halftime show. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. An ebb and flow to the first half, but the fact that the John Glenn Bobcats were able to make it happen a little more consistently on offense, they find themselves in the lead at the half.
Yeah, I think you're looking back at the first half, you're going to talk about a little game of runs, little mini runs. We're nothing major, a couple of 6-0 runs here, and every time you thought maybe, Garber got off early, 15-9, 15-8. They started thinking maybe, and then Jack Millars picks up his second foul. And he does so much for the offense. It's not just scoring points, but he just maintains his composure and control of it so well.
I think Facundo was a real key for John Glenn in the first half, as he was able to make it happen both inside and out, and got their offense clicking when it needed it.
He hit a 3, he drove to the basket a couple times, got the and one opportunity. I think, when you have a player like that that's not named Brady Rogers, that's not named Krasminski, that's not named Hartman, 3 guys that you're looking to, as Coach Clyde would look to those guys as scoring. When you're getting additional points from your role players, it just makes their job that much easier and your job as a head coach that much easier.
Your coach watch, you're going in at the half. One of the things I think they need to do is find an opportunity to get Newsham a couple of more looks, as they've done a really good job of trying to take him out of the offense.
The thing that's impressive about that is even though he's being taken out of the game, by having him being taken out of the game, it does allow open opportunities for other players. Again, on the screen, if he's setting the screen, there's not switching, there's not a lot of help off of there. So get going down. They tried to get him into the post, get him a touchdown there, had a nice move, just a little bit off of the glass. So getting him touches in different parts of the floor is great. However, being able to utilize better spacing as an offensive unit, when they have better space, when their screens are a little bit more crisp, everything runs a little bit more crisp.
And I think in this game versus the girls' game, I think the boys settled in a little quicker in the game, which allowed both teams to try and get into their flow.
Well, I mean, again, we talked about it as a coach when there's, we talked 11 fouls in the first quarter. That just screws up a lot of the ebb and flow of your game, and it's tough. And when you're in a rivalry game, it's going to be called a little bit tighter, a little bit closer. But you have to have your guys be able to handle that, so that way it's not going to be a detriment out there. Use that excitement, use that adrenaline to the advantage, to the positive, and that way you're not saddling your top players with 2 fouls early or even risking a technical.
We're going to put the wraps on the post-game show, but Dylan's going to keep that camera on. We're going to listen to a little bit of the pep band in the background. That puts the wraps on our Frank's Great Outdoors halftime show. Back after we hear from the pep band a little bit with the second half on BCTV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Cuckolin, or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Back as we're ready to roll with the second half. Love to hear the live band, and you don't hear it often enough anymore, but on a Sunday afternoon, they were able to get a group together.
They're bringing everything out today. Nothing's going to be left.
What a great show, though. You don't see enough of that live band. Millars with a pump fake, trying to dribble penetrate. That ball knocked away. He's going to keep after it. Great look underneath to Jacek, who's able to finish with the left hand for the deuce.
Stay active, keep active, and good things are going to happen. Millars lost it, got it back. Jacek kept his feet moving, and things turned out pretty well.
As they float the other way, Westlock with an opportunity. And we're going to have a foul and 2 free throws for Westlock.
That's what they call the old delayed whistle. If he gets the shot, goes in, I don't know, he blows it. It's one of the things that I was taught as a young official. Sometimes you just wait if it's a lot of contact, but if you think that it altered the shot, then it's a foul. That's how it was always described to me.
I think Paul was very confident in what he saw. He maybe took a split second to do it. But in his mind, he's 100% there. He sold it, and he's ready to rock.
Officiated with Paul several times. He was part of our program over at J.J. Kane Hoops, our youth league. So it's been a lot of good time. I always trust what he's going to see. What he's going to do is something that's going to be good.
Well, he's officiated a whole lot of big games as well as Henry. And between them, they've got multiple trips to the regionals and the quarters and the semis and the finals. And the John Glenn defense very much applauding the effort. Millars with a little baseline floater, couldn't get it to drop. One and done as Westlock cleans the glass.
Keeping the lead right now, John Glenn up 3.
A little bit of a short arm that time as Reinbold able to get that one down off the ground. And Brendan Newsham with a little bit of an errant bounce pass. I think he anticipated somebody being at the spot that zigged when they could have zagged.
I think there was a lot of zigging and zagging. I thought he could have hit Day a little bit earlier in the corner maybe, but Day took off, and it was just, you know what? You're going to make mistakes. You're being a young player that he is. Now it's about how you respond.
And that ball goes off the leg. And it will go back over to the John Glenn Bobcats. 6:27 left in our third, 30-27. The Dale Clyde led Bobcats with a 3-point lead and possession.
4 sophomores out there, 2 for John Glenn, 2 for Essexville Garber right now. A lot of guys that gives us a lot of excitement over the next couple of years to be able to have some really good basketball being played here in the county.
Hartman with the miss. And then who's cleaning it up? The freshman Westlock. He's going to be something special in 3 years. Well, he's good now.
Yeah. Why wait?
Jack Day tickling the twine on the trifecta. He was waiting for that ball in the corner. He had himself squared up, and he let it fly, found the bottom of the hole. Another shot that goes up on the plate from number 12. And Krasminski just couldn't make it happen that time.
I think Reinbold fouled his own teammate on that one. One thing I loved about coaching Landon Reinbold, if there was a ball up in the air, he was going up.
He's got a high level of activity. We're going to have a hold, and I think they're going to get number 3 Rogers with that hold.
Again, it's the jersey. The one thing that when you're running or sprinting through a screen, it's a little bit too easy.
Boy, and the instant double in the corner.
Yeah, and the other thing is again, space. What is anybody going to be able to do with the ball in the corner when you throw it in that short of a corner?
Well, when you're double teamed and you've got the baseline and the sideline, it's 1 against 4 defenders with those 2 there. So again, if you're going to get them the ball, the spacing, as there's a great look to the hole. Trevor Hartman with a little kiss off the glass for the deuce and a chance to finish.
Right side, that's the time when as a coach, I don't care if you have to headbutt it in. If you shoot it with your left hand, right hand, headbutt it, knee it, however you got to do it. Just get the ball into the basket as Millars picks up a very crucial foul as it's number 3 and will send him to the bench.
Probably for the rest of the third quarter, but I wouldn't be shocked depending on how the ebb and flow of the game goes. They trust him to come back understanding what he's got with 3 fouls.
Correct.
Nice little stroke at the free throw line as Trevor finishes off the 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
Back to a 5-point lead for the Bobcats. Again, now we got a little mismatch action. Now you're going to look high-low. You're going to try and dinky-dunk.
Now they switch back. Facundo goes back on defense.
There again, trying to get a little isolation.
That ball is off the leg, but not kicked.
Correct.
Right. And that's a big misconstruction. Every time the ball goes off the leg, if there's not an intentional motion to kick it, it's just play on.
All right, absolutely. I know that's an over the back. That's a 3-second misconception.
Nice little easy pass into the backcourt. Jack Day sends that ball to Rowley in the front court. Little weave action right now. Newsham had that ball knocked out of his hands, and we're going to have a foul. He did a nice job of regaining the ball and finding the bottom of the hole. 4:34 left. It's 5-point lead for the John Glenn Bobcats as the Dukes inbound the ball. Cam Routley thought about it on the baseline, said, yep, I can get that shot later. We'll just come back and reset the show.
Yeah, when you're down 5, you want to find yourself in a situation, get a good look at it right now. Again, Millar's going to the bench.
Great switch defensively.
A little Harlem Globetrotter action right there.
Jacek underneath, got a good look, but great defense that time. Short-armed the shot. 1 and done.
I like when he comes to a jump stop on that. Just get yourself under a little bit more control next time, son.
As they come down the floor again, back up top, Facundo.
Nice patience by John Glenn. Get a couple good things early.
Hartman found a lot of traffic and kind of maybe forced that ball a little bit because he felt the traffic as Day comes back down the floor.
Is that my fault for mentioning how nice they look with their patience?
Yep.
There you go.
And we're going to have
a foul. Get that position. You duck in. It's just a little duck in action right there, what Jacek did, but he gets himself under control. That's why I like that. Do the power move, come to your jump stop, be able to go up, and that's going to be 2 on Westlock as he's going to take a seat with 3:34 left.
What I see happening, Coach Clyde went right away to the adjustment. He's realizing that physically Westlock is not able to match up as well with Jacek, so he brings a little bit more beef to the table.
Well, it's always nice when you bring in a little bit more muscle.
As the 3 ball goes off of the Back iron again.
I almost wish that, as a player, you almost wish you'd catch it and shoot it. You get a little bit more time, and all of a sudden everything just starts to weigh on your mind a little bit more.
That rhythm sometimes changes, and you're going to have a foul again as the freshman got to that spot a split second late to make a change. But again, Trevor Hartman done a lot of nice things for a sophomore in this ball game, and he'll go to the line and have an opportunity to shoot a pair.
That's going to be number 3 on Wallaker, so Elijah Tyson over to the scores table will enter the game after the first free throw is up and completed by Hartman.
Nice stroke for a southpaw. Back in the day, I got the opportunity to watch a southpaw with the last name of Pike back from your neighborhood, and that young man could stroke it.
Jimmy?
Yep. He had a game down, I believe it was at Flint Central, where he scored 43 points.
Before the three-point line.
Handy got smoked before the three-point line, and the crowd gave him a standing ovation in Flint after the game was done. Handy still lost by about 25 or 30, but he put on a southpaw shooting clinic in that game. That's our flashback here on BCTV. Sponsored by Village Towing.
Well, there's a guy that's sitting behind us named Jeff Shapansky that may have dropped 61 on St. Peter and Paul back in 1978. We can tell you what, we had some scores back in the 70s.
Yeah, we had that number 10, the point guard there too, Michael Guizdala, that said if the three-point line would have been in place, Shapansky wouldn't have been able to score because he'd have been burping up threes, he says. Jack Day with a nice opportunity, and he's going to go to the free throw line. As we'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsors, Covenant Healthcare, Bay City Bills, Village Towing, Collier Chiropractic.
Just pronunciate and enunciate.
Frank's Great Outdoors, and they're just great. Jack Day with a first and 2. Has that nice forward rotation, rolls off that front iron and softly through the cotton.
Isaiah Schmidt entering the game, giving Newsham a chance to not have to see a navy blue uniform connected into his shorts for the next little bit.
And again, sometimes just that little brief time on the sidelines, you can see what they're trying to do and see maybe if you can work on a little different way to come off a screen and get open. As the offense rolls, nice little floater in the lane, 3/4 of the way down. Used a little bit of the glass after 3 pieces of iron and finally founds the cotton. And Rogers with a nice soft touch.
Right in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Got
Indeed.
into the paint.
There's a double team and wishing that he had that back. Ryan Clifford, he knew right away when he did it. It's like, oh, why? But it's a split second late at that point.
Going to be number 3 on Clifford. And again, when you're tasked with guarding the shooter and you're already risking getting some clutch fouls, some hold fouls, to do it on a reach-in just kind of makes you wonder. God, I just wish I had it back. As Cam Rowley says, let me just take this 15-footer.
Soft touch, little iron, little glass, and then some cotton.
And some cotton.
It's a great job of ball rotation. Wide open 3-ball, just a little off the mark. Clifford had somebody starting to close out on him, and I think he may have anticipated a little contact.
Millar's going to enter the game again for Tyson. Got 3, has 3 fouls. But again, try to, you don't want him to sit too long and not worry about cramping up. But, you get cold over there. So this way he gets his legs back into it if he has to hit a shot.
Well, I would say he's the one player that Coach Watts trusts the most to come in a situation with 3 fouls to not pick up number 4. We'll see if he makes me look smart or dumb in the next 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
As they try and slide that ball down, Day right now. Isaiah Schmidt now gets the ball deep on the other side.
We're going to work patience, be smart, get some action.
Millars realizes that that's the way to reset the offense. Shot is missed, and it's one and done as Isaiah Schmidt can't get it, and here comes Mr. Rogers. We're going to have a held ball off the alternate possession. It'll go back to the John Glenn Bobcats with $1:20 left in the third, up by 5, 39-34.
Little possession there. One of the important things about that gives Elijah Tyson an opportunity to get Millar's out. Basically, you're doing a little defense for offense, but there's a little timeout on the floor, 30 seconds.
All right, as it is a 5-point lead for the Bobcats. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, Dylan Sauber, the three-pack of fun. Great off a screen motion, great look. Unable to finish that time was Rogers. At the other end, the ball goes out of bounds. And it was last touched, and we're going to have a foul, which caused that ball to go flying.
And Coach Clyde is going up and down his bench asking for answers. And in case our angle from up top does not give us any idea of exactly what happened there. It looked like Rogers was setting up almost to take a charge.
And that's, I believe, who they got on the foul. If he reached in or whatever, and Henry Velasquez comes over and tells him real quickly why he called that foul, which I think is good officiating.
They're going to get Hartman back in the game. Just don't want to pick up a fourth. You know, they've got Clifford on the bench with 3. Now they've got Rogers on the bench with 3. Tyson at the free throw line.
Tyson with a little bit strong on that first offering, doesn't get the second chance. With 1:05 left in the third quarter, still a 5-point lead for the John Glenn Bobcats. Trying to move the ball around right now as Hartman sends it back up top. Facundo's going to dribble penetrate. Nice job by Cam Rowley to get to the baseline. And we're going to have a foul. And is that going to be team foul number 4? They're going to say it's a shooting situation. Facundo gets to the line for a couple.
Going to bring Newsham and Millars back in. Again, get some offense back on there. Try to make something happen here in that final 49.1 seconds. Yachak will be entering the game as well.
Wow, Facundo went around the world in 80 days about 2.5 times before it burped out.
Wallaker checking back in. So you got Wallaker on the floor with 3. You got Millars on the floor with 3. Here's an opportunity. Coach Watt sees, though, wants to try to get a little momentum. They're going to have the possession arrow, unless I'm mistaken, hasn't changed since John Glenn got that last one. So that could be a costly mistake because rather than coming out with the ball, he won't be.
Trying a little bit of the weave. Shot goes up and the shot goes in. And 38.3 seconds left in the third. And the fabulous freshman, Wallaker.
The Fabu. Now you're going to get Millars out. Now you're going to get Wallaker out.
Little offense, defense.
Yeah, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that in the third quarter.
Nope, I think that's good stuff.
Well, it does a couple of things. Just allows you that brief moment just to relax.
So the free throw is missed, and the rebound comes down to Streeter.
Hartman bringing the ball up the floor. I want the ball in his hands. If you're Dale Clyde, you feel real comfortable about the things that he can do.
Nice closeout by the Dukes as Hartman's going to try and dribble penetrate. Finds a look in the corner, and again, they want to take the last shot of the quarter, up by 3. I think that's a great strategy, unless you get a layup. Hartman can't get it to drop. The glass cleaned and swept by Beisner.
Now there you go on the kickball where put his foot out in an attempt to...
Check and Millars jumped back off the bench with 5.8 ticks left in the third.
I'm not even sure Coach even told them to go. They were just somebody shot him.
They shot right out of a cannon, headed back to the scorer's table.
Out of bounds play here. You're going to get Newsham with 3 in the corner.
He didn't have much time to think about it, and it just went off the back iron. With 0.5 seconds left, now it's down to 0.1. Double dribble. And here you pretty much have, the second it touches your hand, it's got to disappear.
It's a little warning, just lets them know, hey, you can't come over the line. It's like a wall there if you touch anything.
As an attempt goes up, it's off the mark. It was late anyway at the end of 3. The John Glenn Bobcats 39. The Garber Dukes 36. Back in a moment for the Final 8 on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
As we get ready to roll, Facundo is going to inbound that ball to Hartman. As Newsham tried to at least alter the flight of that inbound pass. Hartman with Millard, you know that's a great matchup offensively and defensively. As Rogers tries to get that ball down, they get it to Hartman. He's double teamed. Rowley did a great job cutting off the baseline. Look at the rebound, falls right into the lap of Newsham. He brings it down on the controlled dribble. Millard's trying to think about free throw extension as they get that ball underneath. Great look and a great finish for Jacek. He went up strong.
Yeah, I think getting 2 feet underneath him, allowing him to go up. If there is any contact, you can fight through it a little bit easier. Now we have a 1-point game, and now let's see how John Glenn responds.
Look at the ice water in the veins, and he just keeps that shooting wrist just flop down after he tickles the twine on a big 3.
Beautiful shot. Puts the lead back to 4.
Jacek again. He's at the elbow. Millar's wide open for a 3 ball of his own. With an answer. Turns around to his student section and said anything they can do, I can do better. 1-point ball game with 6:40 left in the game. Offensive foul. Hartman did a push off right there, right in front of Mr. Henry. And he says, I'm not going to miss that.
Again, it's one thing you want to get fit, you want to have your bar out, but if you extend it in front of this crew,
yep,
you're not going to have it missed.
You can extend it. You cannot. Once it's out there, that's where it's got to stay. And it's easy to see when you do it, too. There's separation. And Millar's look at the change of pace. Oh, slicing and dicing his way down the lane for the Deuce.
Reminiscent of the old days.
The Dukes with their first lead in quite some time. Hartman dribble penetrates. Sends that thing off. Trying to look for a good shot opportunity. That shot is missed. Here comes the fabulous Frosch back at the other end. Look at the little shake and bake, and we're going to have a Facundo hold. Wallaker did a great job. He kind of looked like Torrey Jackson for a second, sitting in the cradle there with a blow-by.
Lull them to sleep as the 10th team foul. And how important was that 10th team foul? That means the Dukes will be shooting 2 free throws from here on out.
So the reason I mentioned that is because it had to be Big Day Sunday. Torrey Jackson is in the house.
We have got some superstars that have made their way to the Duke Dome on this Sunday matinee.
It's a who's who.
Coach Schwartz's phone lighting up all weekend long, trying to make sure they got tickets for this event.
This is a thing of beauty. 3-point lead for the Dukes. See what kind of answer the John Glenn Bobcats. Again, that shot goes off the hands of Westlock. And the Garber Dukes now, Newsham says, let's reset the show here. Wallaker gets the ball to Rowley. As they roll around, and the Millars again, we're going to have a foul on Facundo as Facundo kind of anticipated that he was going to flow to the sideline. And Millars looked like he wanted to turn it up and head to the basket.
I was waiting for the spin move personally. And I think maybe Facundo was as well, as, Mr. Sevilla down there trying to keep peace, explaining to him real patiently, real carefully, this is what we saw, this is what was called. You can't do it. And you know what? I like how tempers haven't flared. There hasn't been a lot of that animosity in a rivalry game that you can get. They're playing well under control, just trying to keep everything going.
The Dukes have arguably their best free throw shooter right now at the line, +4 with a second opportunity. Bend to the knees, flick of the wrist. Oh, Cotton on the delivery. And it's a 5-point lead, and we're going to have Coach Dale Clyde taking a timeout. We'll take one, too. The Garber Dukes 47 and John Glenn Bobcats 42. Back for the last 5:40 in a moment on Bay County TV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Again, love to see what happens after Coach Clyde calls this timeout and what he's going to show on the offensive set.
Full timeout gives you a little bit more time to talk to players. Maybe you want to get Rogers an open three. He's been a little quiet here in the second half. And there he is, going to have it. Unfortunately, foul call before. Greatest foul in Garber Duke history on a game ever played on Sunday.
Yes. In February of 2022.
Lots of things happen there. Again, you draw it up, you get the ball to Krasminski cutting through. If you turn your head, you can't lose Rogers. You can't lose Hartman. Both of them are shooting the ball well.
Well, and you had it figured out, too, with Rogers. Great look underneath the Westlock. His presence of where he was at on the baseline allowed him to use the glass as an angle.
Cut the lead back to 4. Little dribble weave action.
Millars kicks that back out. Rowley thought about the 15-footer, says we can get a better shot than that. As Millars tries to send that ball underneath the Yachek, and he just lost the ball due to some great defense at the other end of the floor, unable to finish. But he's going to get the ball back. Thought about burping up a 3. Rogers is going to do a little flip up from 10, and he put it up just a little bit too strong. Maybe not the shot you were looking for on that possession for the Bobcats.
No, I think right now you're under 5. Every possession all of a sudden becomes a little bit more. We're going to run a little triangle action here. Same thing we saw in the girls' game. You're going to screen down. They're just looking now. They're going to look to switch, and what's going to happen is then they're going to be able to post up and then try to get some action going into the corner. Nothing ever changes.
Yeah, sets the screen, and Day said, I had a look at from 20 feet, but I think we can get a better look. So I think great patience offensively, looking for a backdoor cut and a high percentage shot close to the basket.
Now, I like the one thing, I'm not a big stall guy, not with this much time left, but it opens you up to so many different things. So many different things it opens you up to. And if the defense falls asleep on the low side, you're going to have that backdoor cut, that baseline cutter. If you end up, as Coach tried to tell him, quit. You want to switch that, and he can't. We got to have 2 guys in. We need 2.
You got to love the fact that your floor general hits the floor and all 4 teammates come to assist him coming back up. That's what it's all about.
A great coaching move here, because all it does is help stall the shooter. And you can't do that. You have to have 2 guys in the lane. Absolutely brilliant from the standpoint of he knew what he was doing.
Trying to ice the shooter.
Absolutely. You make the officials blow the whistle. Everyone gets excited. The shooter gets excited. See if it works.
Most people, yes. I don't think with this one that's the same.
Well, in 2016, I was telling you before in the district district opener against John Glenn, there was a young man named Trey Newsham going to the free throw line late in the game to ice it, and all of a sudden an injured player appeared out of nowhere on the John Glenn sideline.
Split of the 2, Cam Rowley with the biggest rebound of the game, and the ball turned over. And we're going to have an and 1. Oh, man, did he turn around, and I don't know if he said something to the Garber Duke or not. I think Millars is talking to Henry right now to say, boy, he just got in my face after that happened. I know he was excited and jubilant. I wasn't down there, so I couldn't tell where it was directed. Boy, you got to be cautious.
Is that Wilkes over there? Is that North Carolina, Georgetown? And they just got the ball and threw it right to Hartman. It's like almost didn't take off with it.
Boy, he wants the ball, and he handles it very well. He finishes off the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. And it's back to a 1-point game.
Yeah, a little press look right now. Just, again, show them something different. Got to sag a little bit more right there.
And again, as they get the ball out to Newsham, and we're going to have a foul on the play. As Rogers probably wants that one back from 28 feet. But if you're a Garber Duke, this is the person you want at the free throw line, because he makes a couple of free throws, gets his stroke down, and the rest of the game, he's on fire.
Yeah, you know, you hope so, and you're looking at that's going to be 4th foul on Rogers.
The first one a little bit strong.
Got to get a little knee bend into his free throw. It's something, one of those things, though, as a streaky shooter, you know, you do something for so long, you're just sitting there going, this is what I'm doing.
Second free throw attempt is all Cotton. Just a little quick hush.
Put the 2-point lead for the Dukes.
Boy, this is going to come right down to the wire, and you got to love games like this. Hartman is double teamed. Dane nearly knocks that ball away. Rogers thought about it. Krasminski's going baseline. Yep. Rowley got there just a split second too late to cut off the baseline.
And that's your same thing, though, is your hands are up, you're even, but can't do anything with the body.
Yep, when you end up with that influx of your hips going to the baseline, it supersedes everything else.
Cam Krasminski, another sophomore for the Bobcats.
You know, and I'll tell you who's not really smiling on the sideline right now, and that's Dale Clyde said Derek. He's like, man, give me these 3 or 4 players that are freshmen and sophomore and the things we can do as a junior varsity team, and he understands what it's about. Ice water in the veins, 2 free throws, big time, tying us up at 49 with 3:28 left in regulation.
Be interesting, you know, again, you're throwing a little press action, just trying to have something look a little different, but this way right now you've got 4 guards on the floor if you're Essexville Garber. And that ball crosses and gets over to Jack Millars. Good things are going to happen.
Well, and again, with John Glenn, it's almost more a token pressure as Jacek's going to the hole. Westlock gets it. The third opportunity, though. Jacek perseveres for the deuce.
That's how you have to attack. You've got to maintain. Stay with it. 1 shot gets blocked. It's not the end of the world. 2 shots get blocked. Not the end of the world.
And that shot goes in. As we're going to go to the free throw line to see if this tie gets altered. All knotted up at 51.
Well, Newsham gets called for the foul, and he was running away with this guy and stopped for a quick second. There was somebody dribbling right behind him and little contact.
You know, wrong place at the wrong time, I guess.
Yeah, you know.
Could be a mistaken identity. What a great job that time as Hartman with a beautiful stroke and gives the 1-point lead. Again, they use that extra pass, very patient to get into the front court. Jack Day. Rogers with just a little bit of a push with the hip in the corner. The freshman's going strong to the hole. He had no hesitation. And the roly-poly goes back and forth, teeter-totter, 53-52, Dukes by 1.
Don't want to leave Hartman open. Good call right there as Jacek was out screaming.
Great look from 13 feet, just off the mark. Newsham with the Windex out, cleaning the glass.
Now going to be a little patient, get a little run action.
They're going to slide it around and underneath. And that once that offensive positioning was established down there, Westlock realized I got to do something quick. He couldn't get there quick enough.
Gets stuck behind him. It's a great ducking opportunity. You know, I keep talking about the ducking, and that's one of the things Jacek, he's got the great hips for a guy that's not a typical 6'6" center. He makes up with the size of his hips and what he is able to do with them, how to position himself as the first free throw twinkles a twine and puts the lead up to 2 for the Dukes, under 2.
You know, just while we got a split second, Tommy Shapansky, did he opt to not play? Was he injured? What caused him to not have an opportunity or take the opportunity to play basketball?
You know, I think with him was the, coming off the hand injury that he sustained in football. And I think, at the end of the day, you have a chance to be a high draft pick in the MLB draft coming up in June this year, the amateur draft. So I think there was a combination, a lot of different things, not one specific. Obviously, just great to have him out here just because he's a great kid.
Yep, we got a chance to interview him in football, and he is a great kid too. And we'll talk at a later time about the great influence that Coach Schwartz had teaching him some quarterback stuff. As nice job by Day again. Didn't really see anything there. Didn't want to force the shot. Newsom says, I've been bumped, and now I'm going to go. And Facundo kind of looked at Paulie and goes, well, I guess this is the time you picked for one. And it was a good call, and Facundo just a little frustrated.
Well, I think what you saw right there was a combination of frustration. And, you almost had another steal. Hartman did. It's just, you got to know where number 0's at for the Navy Blue. Active. I love the way he's playing the game. First shot is up. Oh, he uses it all. A little bit of the hardware, a little bit of the glass,
followed by some cotton.
Coach Schwartz said, I spent quite a bit of money on that contraption up there. Why don't we just make sure to use it?
Yeah, I love it. Second free throw, bend to the knees, flick of the wrist, all cotton on the delivery. Buck 15 left in regulation, 5-point Duke lead. Oh, this has been fun.
Well, it's one of those games. It's like the game we saw earlier, went to overtime. Couple of things. Going across the lane, going hard with his left was Rogers as he was looking to make things happen. I wasn't sure if they were going to call it higher, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be a 1-and-1 or a 2, but they pointed up number 2.
Wallaker picks it up, but this young man is doing a great job. Still an underclassman as a junior. So Coach Clyde's got himself a pretty young club here, and that first shot is 2 pieces of iron and rolls uneventfully off the side.
Well, I think your situation, Coach Clyde knew he was going to be a little bit younger, taking this opportunity, knowing that these guys are going to get a lot. This is a great experience for him, win, lose, or draw. Just being out here in this situation, getting them a little experience as we're about to approach a minute.
And again, doing a great job of being patient with that extra pass. Underneath, and that's going to be a Hartman foul. And Wallaker is going to have an opportunity to go to the free throw line to see what kind of temperature he's got in his veins.
Well, being old teammates right there, a little hard foul never hurt nobody.
Yeah. All right, 2 shots. Bend to the knees, flick of the wrist. What a beautiful presentation on the first of 2.
It's a model free throw shot right there. Get the ball, take this dribble, eyes on the rim. He's not even taking time to think about it.
Nope, he envisions the front of that iron and lets it fly. 49 ticks left, 6-point lead for the Garber Dukes.
Now you're going to look at right there.
We're going to have a foul on the play against Jacek, I think, is what he was trying to do, is hold off Westlock.
Well, on that, Rogers is coming through. They're trying to set a screen with Westlock and then run him through the old gate. And what happened is Jacek knew he was coming, tried to get the forearm into him, bump him off his line of direction. And unfortunately, when you're Jacek and Rogers' size differential, that little bump was too easy to notice.
Well, this is exactly what Coach Clyde wants, too. You want a good free throw shooter at the line with no time coming off the clock, able to dent that deficit.
Right, and now they came in. Now they got a 5-guard look is what Coach Clyde's going to as Westlock comes down, takes a seat. Facundo takes a seat, so it's going to try and go speed on speed right here for the last 44.4.
Look at the soft touch on that. It's a 4-point game with 44.4 left. Coach Watts says, I'm going to take a quick TO. It'll be at 30. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV. Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs. back here on Bay County TV. After the timeout, it gives both coaches an opportunity to set up the press break versus the press. Jack Day says, I'm just going to take my time getting across the line, knowing that I can get there. Millars, he's going to be in the corner. He senses the double team, knows where to go with it. And there is a Rogers foul, and that could be number 5 on him.
You know, and it's unfortunate. One of those passes, though, you're just sitting there looking at it and you're going, no. Great pass. Because
that pass had to travel a long way, and Rogers was in a position to jump it. He just got there a split second late.
That was like watching Plaxico Burris go up for the ball. I'm going old school.
You are.
Odell Beckham Jr., I guess, for
this
you younger
is another
generation.
one of our village towing flashbacks on BCTV. First free throw. He's not a freshman anymore.
No, I say that about all the players. After the halfway point, there is no classification. You're just a basketball player, and you have a role to do. His job right now is to knock down free throws, and he does it.
Soft touch, 2 full possessions up with 30 seconds left in the regulation. Again, they know exactly who the shooters are. As Krasminski's going to look to dribble penetrate. Millars allows him to go by. And there's going to be a foul on the play, and that's going to go against Luke West. Is it 1 of 2 free throws here with 14.3 left? May be enough to put the icing on the cake.
Well, I always talk about it, but the reality of it is you get to that 3-possession game, and it just, as a coach, you just can breathe a little bit easier knowing that timeouts are in your favor, your shooters are in your favor, you're hitting your free throws down the stretch. No, I probably just jinxed him. No jinx necessary. It's Sunday, baby.
He's got such a nice confident stroke at the line. That is the 3-possession differential with 14.3 ticks left. As Paul Sevilla gets ready to send this one to Millars again. 3 dribbles, backward spin, bend to the knees, flick of the wrist, Cotton on the delivery.
And they're going to make sure that they inbound the ball to get that clock rolling. Good decision by Wallaker just to show a little bit of pressure.
How about that? Trifecta by Hartman and a quick timeout with 5.5 left. We'll take another break. The Duke's up by 5. There's 5s everywhere on the board. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. County TV is the Dukes inbound the ball, and basically what they've got to do is get it inbounds, and nice job defensively that time by West, but he touched the ball and it ended up sailing out of bounds and costing about 1.8 seconds in time. Now we're going to have looks like a timeout by the Garber Dukes, and we'll take another quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care, from diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Back for the final 3.7 ticks here in a very, very entertaining second half of the double dip today between the John Glenn Bobcats and the Garber Dukes.
Well, Coach Watts gets a timeout call. Let's figure out a way to get the ball in bounds, how we want to do it. We're going to do maybe a straight line, or we're going to do a box. It looks like they're going to go to the line. They're going to go straight. Look for somebody running deep.
I say you go
back
deep with Newsham for a touchdown pass.
You get Wallaker, who gets a chance to run out the clock against his former teammates.
And a great job. That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score, the John Glenn Bobcats come up 5 points short. The Garber Dukes with a 63-58 win. Back in a moment for the post-game wrap-up on Bay County TV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Tri-Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Back with our Village Towing post-game show on Bay County TV. Jeff Dodd and Jason Newsham. Woo! It came down to free throw shooting at the end, and the John Glenn Bobcats couldn't quite keep up with the free throw prowess of the Garber Dukes.
As someone who's watched a lot of Garber basketball games this year, matter of fact, watched them all, the one thing I can say is they have struggled at times from the free throw line. Struggled enough where some of their other closer games could have been maybe swayed a little bit. But to see what they were able to do tonight, get to the free throw line, step up as if they're 95% free throw shooters, I think that shows a lot about that confidence that Coach Watts has in the guys that he has on the floor.
You look at Coach Clyde on the other side. He's got to be encouraged by the way that his young team continues to get better and perform.
You read a lot about their scores and they're close, or you read about it where maybe they had a bad quarter, they couldn't put all four quarters together. I think they showed, again, glimpses of how good this team can be, but not just for this season, but, for future years, because we saw a pretty good JV team that had a lot of freshmen. We saw a great varsity team that had a freshman, a couple of sophomores that not just participated, but they were out there.
They were making it happen again. Great rivalry basketball game that did not disappoint.
No, on a Sunday afternoon, we had a great crowd.
Almost Sunday night now.
Well, we started that Sunday afternoon. I thought you had both crowds that were into it. It's just one of those things where, it was a great first half of the girls' game where there was a lot of action, a lot of activity. Garber went away in the second half, kind of took away a little bit of the luster. And this game was neck and neck. Team get up 7, team get up 8. And the battling that both teams did was phenomenal, and can't wait. I think they're going to meet in about 10 more days. So
that's a double dip we'll have back on BCTV, but John Glenn says we get that one in our backyard.
And I think in this particular rivalry, and these two particular teams, I think it is where the game is at plays such a huge advantage. This court over here, a little bit smaller, kind of a crackerjack box, if you will. John Glenn's 94 feet, a little bit more spaced out. Their shooters, their lanes, everything opens up a little bit different. You don't really think about it until you're here and you're out there and you're going, I didn't have as much room as I did the other day.
It really changes the angles at which you try and get entry-level passes into. So it will be fun, but this ball game did not disappoint. Jam-packed crowd on hand tonight. Nice opportunity to have Mark Ewell, the executive director of the MHSAA, come and be in attendance and was gracious enough to spend some time and kind of giving us a little state of the state on the MHSAA.
We could have talked for 30 minutes. You and I could have talked 30 minutes. We would have let him talk too, but having someone like that, but watching him in the crowd and shaking people's hands and talking to him, out there in the crowd, not sitting over there, not trying to, big time anybody. I think that speaks volumes of the type of guy that he is and the confidence that, the member schools have in him as the executive director for the MHSAA.
He's got PR skills just oozing out of his body. He's the right man in the right place at the right time, doing the right job. So we appreciate his efforts. Always a pleasure to be by your side, Coach.
I tell you, we had Gwiz up here today. We had Jeff Shapansky, Tori Jackson, TJ Newsham, Jeff Doan. Super Sunday was today, baby.
On behalf of the whole crew, again, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, Dylan Sauber doing a great job stepping up with the double dip. Have a great night, and we'll look forward to talking with you soon.